Yeah.
Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. Hello, everybody who's listening and watching to this. My name is Cindy and I'm here with Elin, and she's from Norway. And we're going to do this webinar presentation about that she went to Cork. And I want to laugh and hear everything about it because I'm very enthusiastic to go there. So yeah, tell us more about how we can get there. What is there? I mean, what's to see, what's to smell, to feel, to hear. I saw some great pictures and people I recognize. I was like, oh, I need to be there. So I want all the ins and outs.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Cindy. So this trip was a trip by doTERRA, and they invited a bunch of diamonds from West Europe to come and try this tour out, because like this is the first time they do this event. Before, you can win all of these legacy trips. One of them is to go to this facility where doTERRA bottles and refines and blends the oils in this facility. It's the only one in Europe, and it's pretty new. It's like it started in 2020. So it was really cool to be one of the first people to go and see it. And yeah, I have prepared some pictures, some slides, even some videos to give you a little impression of how it would be to be there. But even, you can live through my experience and see how how amazing this company is and the quality standards that we have that makes our oils so special. And that's what I love about this. And also it's the people, going on a trip with people you consider friends or people who are, doing inspiring things. That's always a fun part of it. But I'm not gonna go too much into that. I want to show you the facility and yeah, give you a little bit of a tour around the facility. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it sounds great. Yeah. And I think it's always it's nice to get an impression, but I think it's almost always the best to go there yourself. So, and I'm a little bit jealous that you are diamond and you just could go. We have to qualify for it. So I was like, really? They're already qualified? Woo! So that's also me giving me a vibe like, okay, that's also one part. I need to become diamond.
Yeah. There are some good perks of being diamond for sure.
Kind of extras, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that anyone can qualify for this trip and for the distillery trip, which I find even more like cool. Like I would love to go to that. I've been to Bulgaria to the distillery there. It was really awesome, but that's a long time ago, so it would be really fun to go to another distillery trip.
Do you have to qualify for the distillery, or can you also come because you're diamond? Or
No, I haven't been invited to the distillery, so I have to qualify. But so anyone who's like, you know, if you haven't reached silver or gold before, like then that's the qualifications as far as I understand. Like you have to go in and read. I have a link in my slide. You can go in and read, but I think it's like you qualify for silver for a certain amount of times in a year, then you can go to the distillery trip.
yeah,
And then when you qualify for gold for a certain amount of times in a year, then you can go to a Cork facility. So these are two trips and everyone can qualify. And even me, if I want to go, so this wasn't actually like a qualification trip, like we were just invited. If I want to qualify for, I probably could qualify for Cork again. I don't know if they would do that, but if I want to qualify for the distillery, I have to reach my next rank depending on the rank I've had for the last year. So I can still qualify, but I need to qualify for that as well. So this was just like an extra thing they did for us, which was nice, but yeah.
It has to do with the base rank. What's your base rank? And then you need to go
To the
above your base rank.
Yeah, exactly. So you can ask your account manager or customer support to help you figure out your base rank. You probably already got an email about it. What's your base rank? So you can look for that. But just reach out to doTERRA and they will help you understand these things better. And there's a lot of information on the website as well.
Yeah, that's true. Also in Dutch for the Dutch ones.
Right.
And maybe also in Norwegian, Swedish, or
maybe. I don't remember if it's in those languages. It could be. A lot of the information is in Norwegian.
Well, hit it.
Yeah. Okay, so do you wanna, should we start with the presentation, or do you wanna like ask me some questions first and then I'll dive into the slides?
No, maybe you will answer them through the slides. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think there will be answers there. Okay, so I'll try this and you let me know if it works. I have to click play. Does it still work? Looks good?
Works. Thanks.
Okay. So this is the outside of the facility. So welcome. You're now going on a tour with me to the Cork manufacturing facility. So Per was there as well, and we couldn't bring our daughter to the actual facility, but she was with us on the trip. Yeah, so this is the outside. It's like a massive warehouse. I'll show you on the next slide, like I have a map. So this is Cork. Cork is a few hours away from Dublin, and the facility is, it's a big warehouse, and it's in a village called Blarney. So we stayed at the Blarney Mills Hotel, and it's like right next to a castle. It's really, a beautiful area. So very special to go there. I'm sure that that's going to be the place that they will take people on these tours later. So it's something to look forward to.
And one question, is it the other slide? Is it the 3 buildings there or just one building?
It's one big building.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's one of those. And it's huge. They have a lot of room, and I'm sure they could expand if they wanted to, but yeah, they have a lot of capacity. So a little bit of information first. This is a very new manufacturing facility. It's something that I think doTERRA started to, probably for many reasons, but to avoid the oils from Europe, for example, because a lot of our oils comes from Europe, they're sourced in Europe, to avoid them going to the United States, then being bottled and processed there, and then going back to Europe to be shipped to people. Like, it's really clever and saves our, what's it called? The blueprint, or the, I remember, carbon footprint, that's what I wanted to say. Not the blueprint, but carbon footprint. So we like that, saves shipping back and forth, and we can have it more locally for Europe. So they built this warehouse, and they had these people hired to do head of operations, testing, all of these things I'm going to show you. So it's pretty new. They had to figure it out, but it's going really, really well. And a lot of the oils that we have in Europe are from this facility now. So I don't know exactly which, I saw some of the oils that I know that they have, but I don't know, there's 78 different types of oils. So I don't know each each
awesome,
one.
because I expected just, well, maybe 5 oils or something. I didn't have a clue. So
No, I'm gonna show you. It's like huge, and they get these big bulks of oils in, and yeah, there's a big process to everything. So they do a lot in this building.
yeah.
Yeah, so this guy on the picture, it's Martin O'Sullivan. He's the head of operations. So it's like he manages everything in the building and makes sure everything runs smoothly. So like he's so passionate. You could talk for hours about every aspect of this, and he really loves the quality standard. Like all the oils that comes in, like they do all the testing and everything that doTERRA has as the standard, and even more than is needed. But the fact is that doTERRA has cleaned up the supply so much already, and they also do testing before the oils come to Cork, that there's very little that they have to send back or discard. It's like it's so pure what comes in, so it makes their job easy, but they test everything. So it's like to keep up with doTERRA's quality standard. So the quality standard, like Martin told me that he's worked for like medical device companies before, and they do less testing for like things that are going to be implanted in your heart or something like that, like in your body. These doTERRA's oils are more tested and more pure and more particular with everything than for like things you put inside your body in your heart or something. So I find that really, really interesting. That's another reassurance of like the high quality standard we have and why we can be so proud of our oils.
Yes, I agree. And thank you for reminding me about this again, because I know that some medical products aren't tested much. So when I heard that, I was kind of a shock. And I know that doTERRA do a lot of testing, and it's just great that you remind us about it, because we use it to be and to stay healthy. So it's good that we have a good quality, and that we know what we use. So yeah,
and even with essential oils, like nobody else does this to this extent. So that's that's the fact.
yeah.
Nobody else does this. We have something really special. So since October 2020, they've bottled over 8 million, like almost 9 million bottles. So that's quite a lot. 174,000 bottles blended and refined, and over 78 different types of oil. So it's a big operation, and they want to take on even more, and they also want to take on supplements in the future, or like body care products, because currently they only do oils. So they want to take on more. I even saw that the special rose hydrolet that we had for the holiday products, I saw that they had those as well. It was something written on the wall. So I'm like hoping that they get back, because I love it so much.
I hope to.
Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, they have, pretty much just the oils, but they are wanting to take on more. But it's all a learning curve. Like with every new product, it would be a new process and new equipment and different things that they need to put into place. So step by step, but they're definitely wanting to, do even more. And I think it's really amazing that we have that in Europe.
Yes, it is. So if they come a single oil to the manufactory, they blend it over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this was the group we went with.
I see a lot of people I know.
Yeah. It was so much fun to get together. And you also see Isaac all the way to the left in front. He's the director for Europe now. And
you're one of the Dutch leaders.
yeah, near. Yeah, it was really, really fun to be with the people. These are all like diamonds, blue diamonds, presidential diamonds. So yeah, really, really fun, and we all got to experience this for the first time. So I just wanted to show you the group, but let's move on. Yeah, another little picture in here. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of move a little bit into each of the sections. So a few of the things they do, like the things they do here is quality assurance. So there's like chemistry test and micro test. I'm going to go into that after. And they've done 23,000 tests so far. So they test every batch of oil, and they test for so many things. So we're going to go into that. And as well, they do blending. So they make the blends. For example, one of the blends they were waiting to get tested when I was there was a rice blend, from, actually have it here, from the yoga collection. It's so good. So that's one of the blends they had kind of ready blended, and it was just waiting for like the last improvement to be bottled and then shipped out. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, they also bottle, and I'm going to show you all of that. So they do a lot of different tests. So we had to get on our lab coats and go in there. It's really like high standard, high purity. Like they make sure that there's like special circulation in the air so that the air is like completely changed in a very short time to ensure that nothing is contaminated. And they even test like every surface. They test the water. They test the air, everything, to make sure that nothing contaminates the products. So this is the micro lab. So this is where they test for like bacteria's growth, like the petri dishes, those kind of things. That's what they have in there, and they test for so many things like E. coli, salmonella, staphylococcus, all of those things. Like everything's tested, and that shouldn't be in the oils. And a lot of the oils are naturally anti bacterial or that kind of things, but they make sure, and some oils are less, but they make sure that nothing is in the oils that shouldn't be there. So that's
that you have pure the oil and no other material or stuff in it, just the oil.
Yeah, so this is more of like the bacteria and those kind of things that can grow in products that would be not healthy to put into your body, or not spreading any kind of disease. So like there shouldn't be any of these in there, and there's actually been nothing in there. Every test that they've done, they haven't found anything, but they still do all the testing, and they're going to keep doing the testing. Like they want to keep the highest standard and not kind of some companies or some places, they will like start really well, and then they will see like, yeah, but there's nothing in here, so like we're just going to lower our standards, and then suddenly there's maybe something in there and they didn't see it. But doTERRA is like, no, we're just always going to test at this standard, even if there's nothing in it. They're going to keep up that standard and keep that benchmark, and they they always have someone who's like supervising or double testing the work that the person has done to make sure that they're doing their job. So like you can't just have like one person in the lab slacking off and not doing their job. Like they're going to be tested, made sure that they do their job, so that everyone is keeping up the standard. Even in 5 years, 20 years, it's going to be the same standard, and we can trust doTERRA with that. Inside those fridges are like all of the like petri dishes or like things that they're testing, and they're like waiting a certain amount of time to see if it grows. So like some of the tests can take 2 weeks. So like actually the oils that are waiting to be bottled, they have to wait until like all of the testing is complete. Some of the tests take, you know, a few days, some take a week, some can take up to 2 weeks. So it's really like, you know, they have to wait until everything is in the clear. So this is the micro lab. I have another video where I like show more in the fridges. Let's see. You wouldn't know what everything is, but maybe if you do, then that would recognize some things. So they keep everything labeled, and you know, as you can also see, there's like some different solutions that they use for the testing, and it's all like in there. And you know, they put it in like, this is in process, this is finished, validated, and so on. So it's really, you know, as it should be in a lab, very organized. I noticed that there's only men working in that first part of micro, and then in this part it's like they have a door connecting them, so we could go through there, but they're like 2 different labs. This is the chemistry lab, and they're all women. Like they said another guy is going to come and work there, but I thought it was really cool, like three women running the chemistry lab for doTERRA. I really love that. So we're going to move into the chemistry lab. So this is what you know as the actual testing of like, is this really lavender? Is there anything else in it? Is there any synthetics in it, or something that shouldn't be there? Is it a fake oil? Like all those kind of things, even like heavy metal. So that's what you will find in this part. So they went through all of the testing. So the organoleptics, like that's the smelling and looking at the color, like that's the first thing they do is, you know, does it look like, smell like lavender, for example. And then they move on to the different ones, and I wouldn't be able to explain them all. That's like, you know, they explained it to us, but I'm not an expert, so I wouldn't be able to explain it to you. But I
something to go there. I mean, you can't tell us everything. I mean, we need some information from Cork itself. So
exactly. So go there if you want to hear like all the details and you're really like geeky on this stuff. But I do remember the one on the left here. That's the heavy metal one that they test for heavy metals. I think that's really, really cool. But they do all of the testing, like, you know, doTERRA does 7 different tests. I wrote them all down here, and they do all of them on every batch of oil. So that's quality standard, you know, really, really amazing. So that's the lab.
I think it's really good that we hear more about the testing, because for me, almost 9 years in doTERRA, it's kind of, you take it for granted. And it's good that you remind me again of all the testing, and like you said, no heavy metals, I'm thinking of the band now, Heavy Metal. I'm like, no, that's
no heavy metal music played in doTERRA.
And no, you know, just a good quality. If lavender is just lavender, and it's good to hear how it works. It's and
they do all of it, every
yeah,
single batch. Like you just know, like it's good stuff. And usually, like what they found is like if they get something out of the normal, they're like, they go back and like check the protocols on like how they did it, and maybe they made a mistake or did something different. And so most of the like out of normal, it's like it's actually their own mistake, like their human mistake on how they did the testing. So they do it again a couple of times to reaffirm, and you know, it's the sample is fine. It was just the human error. So it's really, you know, really high standard of oil that comes into them. But just to know that everything's being tested. Everything is tested where it comes from, like the distillery or the place it comes from already. It's tested there by, you know, the location, and then it's being sent here and gone through, you know, microlab, the science lab, tested all of these things to make sure. And after it's bottled, they test again before it's shipped out. So like they ensure like so many times that everything is as it should be. It's the natural, it's pure thing. It's the, you know, it's within a range that supports our bodies the most. So it's really, really good. Yeah, and the machine in the back right of this picture, it's the GCMS. Takes like, I don't remember, like, is it 90 minutes or something? And they split it up, and that's like the graph you see if you go to the source to you, like the kind of graph where there are peaks, so they can see every component that's in the oil, and if something is peaking that shouldn't be there, like that's a warning sign where they can see if it's adulterated. But they also use all of the other tests in case this GCMS is not picking it up, because there can be different ways of hiding it. They would pick it up in some of the other tests. So I think it's really, really incredible, the standard they go to make sure we have the purest oils.
Yes.
Okay, and then we have the warehouse, so like where they actually have like store all the things that are coming in, all the batches that are waiting to be tested, and then also when it's bottled and everything, get ready to ship it out. That's where they store it. So like everything and all the bottles and everything they need to do the process is also stored here. So actually, they ship it to the warehouse in the Netherlands, and that's where they ship out to the rest of Europe.
We don't have a warehouse in the Netherlands anymore.
Is it not?
No. It's we heard that from the 1st of February it's now in Poland.
Okay, yeah, because I know there's one in Poland. So we were here in January, and at that time they said they're shipping to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But if you don't have in the Netherlands, then they're probably shipping to Poland, and from Poland they're shipping to Europe. So that's new to me, but in January that's what they said. And
It's new.
yeah, so you know, good to know. But yeah, that's what they did in January. Good. So the point is that they're you know, they're not shipping out to the customers, they're shipping to the warehouse, and then the warehouse is shipping out to European customers. I believe that England has their own warehouse, and I don't think that they're being shipped from Ireland, but yeah, at least they didn't mention that. But they mentioned they sent it to the Netherlands, so that's what I knew. Probably Poland now, since they
we used to I know that the Dutch warehouse from the Netherlands was shipping to all over Europe.
Yeah.
Or some part of Europe, but we just heard on the 1st of February that our orders are coming now from Poland. So yeah.
Yeah. So last detail that I picked up is that some people have been wondering, like, if you want to source to you and put the number under the bottle, which we, you know, love, that's possible. but some are not possible. And that's actually because if they're from this warehouse, they have the reports, it's all sent to doTERRA, but they haven't uploaded it on the site. So it's not connected yet, and it's probably like backlogged in the system. So if you're not able to see your bottle on the thing, you probably know that it's from this warehouse, it's all tested, but it's not like we ask them to, you know, reach out to doTERRA headquarters and make sure that they find a good solution to connect them quicker. Like maybe this warehouse could upload them directly on the site themselves or something, so that it doesn't go really long time until it's on the site. So just in case someone have been experiencing that they couldn't find their bottle on the source to use site, that's the reply we got there. So that's good to know. It's not optimal, but this is like a new warehouse, new processes, and doTERRA is also figuring out how to, you know, not doing everything in their own headquarters anymore, but having this in another continent, and then finding a way to connect the reports into that system. So, because there's so many reports, you know, there's a lot. So hopefully they will find a way to make that run smoothly, so we can see every report for every oil again. But know that, you know, if needed, they would be able to find the report for your oil, but it's not on the website. For those oils from this warehouse. Yes, I had a little video here, like talking about this, so maybe we can roll that as well. Okay, so we're in the production facilities for doTERRA's oils in Cork, Ireland, and this is where they store all the different bottles. There are oil miles, like the big metal ones there, with like whole batches of oils that are waiting to get tested or are tested and going to be bottled. I'm going to show you that in a different room. So it's a big place, high quality testing and assurance. So it's exciting to be here. And I just wanted to show this picture as well. I remember like one of these were air oil. One of them were on guard and one was a rice. So there were 3 of these standing next to each other. So that's some of the oils that are blended and waiting for testing. You could see like there was a little bit of like a sign on them, like one of them said waiting for testing, one of them said it was ready, so then it needs to be bottled, all of that. So that was cool to see, and you could really like smell the on guard from the on guard, you know, it was really intense, the smell, so that was cool. And so one challenge is when you come here, and if you're not used to hearing Irish accent, it's quite like, can be difficult to understand. So that was one of the things, but they tried to speak slower, but yeah. So I'm gonna play a little bit of video and he will explain a little bit of the like refinement thing that they do with the oils. But maybe you don't understand everything he says, but that's fine. But I wanted to play it so that you could get a little feel for it.
If you will take the oil in, they'll stick in a straw and they'll take up the oil and say, okay, there's sediment, there's water in it, whatever's in it. Then they'll take a sample of clean oil out of it, because it generally sits at the top or bottom, so they can get a clean sample, sends it up to the lab. While it's in the lab, it sits there. Okay. They do not touch it, no one does. They need to confirm that it's pure, which is what we spoke about earlier. Once they tell me, yeah, it's good to go, I'll go to QA. What do I need to take out of it? And they might say there's sediment, like a lot of our products, it's natural, so when they're harvesting, you only get little bits of dirt to it. It doesn't impact the oil. Or there might be water in it because it's humid or because of travel time or something. So we'll take it in. So we've got settling funnels, they're called inside. They're very much like this, only there's a big hole at the bottom of it. So we'll take lemon as example. Lemon is a natural product. It's often got water in it as well because it grows in like humid areas. And lemon will sit on this settling funnel, and eventually you'll see lemon will rise, water will be at the bottom, and then we'll just open it, dump it, and we'll leave it sit some more, and we'll do the same thing over and over again until we're all happy it's clean. Then we'll send it to production. If we're doing a blend like that arise right there, we will pre-weigh so I will create an order. That order will go on the system, and then we'll say, right, these are the ingredients for a rice. So I need X, Y, Z, I need this much of it. Every single ingredient is weighed out to the decimal point. There is no error. We can throw in 10, it's fine. None of that Mickey Mouse stuff here. It's all proper. So you put it in there, and then someone from QA will come in and go, yeah, that's right. Re-rate for us, just double check. It's kind of like spot checks. It's good because it keeps everyone honest and it makes sure that we're controlling the process. They'll come in, they'll check it, and say, we're good to go. We'll then fire it all into a toad all together, like you're baking or whatever it is.
I see a beam going throughout the bacon.
Well, it is like we're effective bakers. And then we'll let it blend and mix, and then we'll take a sample of it again. And the sample goes to the lab, and they'll come back and saying, yeah, all the indicators that this oil is fully blended is here, that it's pure, and that's ready to rock and roll. Because say you had a renegade employee, no, we don't. Like all our guys are brilliant, but they could just dump in water.
So I'm gonna stop it there, but you could probably get the picture of like how they refined and then blend to the exact like measurement, like on the decimal, and make sure that everything's good and tested again before they send it out. Yeah.
Right.
So this is just one of the groups. Per was in that group, I wasn't. So just showing the warehouse again. So gonna move on to the bottling. So I think, this was the first time they did it, and they didn't time it really well for like us seeing it the best. So that they're gonna make sure that when people come for the actual trips, because there were like one of these rooms, so like I think they had 3 rooms where they do bottling, and one of these rooms are at the end of a hallway, and there's like windows through, so you would be able to see through the windows and like observe the whole process from like one side of the room where they have the big dunks of oil, and they're gonna bottle it into the bottles, and then it's being sent on the other side of a wall to put the lids and the labels and everything on, and then it's being packed on the other side. So we weren't able to see like all of that in process. We went into a room that was not in process first. That's the one on the right. I do believe I put a video in for that next, so you can see when it's empty. And then on the left, I have a video later also for when they're actually in process, but it's only on the side where the bottles are like already filled. It's put the label on and it comes down, and then they pack it by hand into the boxes. So a lot of this is like automated, a lot of the things, but they also want to keep some manual and have people employed. Like they don't want it to be like a fully automated manufacturing facility. They want to have people there, bringing jobs and having people as a part of the process. So that's just to explain a little bit there. So we could see, the whole rooms and everything, but only one of them in action. So I'm going to show you a few videos from that. This is labeling of the bottles, and they come down this tube to get ready to be packed. And then the next video is actually on the other side, where they can fill the bottles inside that that room. So that's where they did. So we didn't get to see that in action. That would be fun to see. So that's you know, that would be a reason to come and see it yourself, to actually see that in action. But that's the side, and like everything is so like sterile, and really, you know, making sure that nothing is contaminated as they bottle it. And then it comes to the other side. I'm gonna see if I can move this. Okay, and then you see this guy explaining as it comes through. No. Okay. Do we want to see all of it again? Okay, we're gonna see it again. One step too far. And then the next.
We'll come in here and
And this is where the labels get on, like actually what we see in the pictures, like where they have the roll of the label for that oil. So they might do like, okay, now we're doing all on guard, and then they have the on guard label in the thing. And when the bottles come through, it kind of rolls it around each bottle and then passes it on. So like, they'll, you know, probably do on guard for a few hours, and then they have a break, clean everything up, and then they do another oil. So like that's how they do this process. Yeah, so I think that was kind of the last piece of that process. I have a few more pictures, but it's you know, that's. Do you have any questions for any of these processes or parts?
So what I see is that it comes in I don't know how you call it, big containers, the oil. So they get tested, all kinds of tests that there aren't bacteria in it, that it's that's the first kind of row of tests. And then they test, is it really the oil and the quality of the oil that we want? And then they're going to bottle it or blend it, that's possible too, or bottle it, and then they put a sticker on it, and then it goes in the little bottles to a warehouse, or to Poland or another warehouse to get it shipped to us, right? I say it in just 1 second now.
Yeah, definitely. And they have to put it in small boxes of like, was it 30 or 60 or something, 66, I don't know if I remember correctly, but let's say 66. That's the number they're allowed to ship in one box. So like a lot of small boxes of the oils, and then shipped to the warehouse.
Yeah,
and then,
I know, I get that, because it's also got to do with laws of shipping that they have to keep up. I find it very, also in that case, I'm very proud of doTERRA that all the rules from all Europe, they all need, we have different rules than in Norwegian and in Switzerland, and we all those rules for shipping and labeling, they have to get it right to be allowed to send it to us. And I think it's very awesome that they helping us so much, getting it right, and giving us so much information that we can do it right. So I think it's amazing, really. And with the shipping, sometimes we're like, why do you do this? And we get such a big box. Why isn't it in a smaller box? Well, it's the rules of shipping. We have to do it like this. And I was like, wow, it's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, everything they have to comply to. So actually that part of like smaller boxes is because like imagine, you know, if a whole container, like a whole truck of you know, cinnamon oil would leak into the sea or something because it like fell into the sea or dumped somewhere, or you know, that kind of thing. Like that's what they think about, like the amount of oil that could be contaminated in the nature. Like even if it's pure, like it's still such a massive amount of concentrated material. So they have to like make sure that they follow those kind of regulations that are put for the nature. Even for like this whole facility, they can't dump the material, the waste products when they're filtering, for example. They can't just dump it out the drain. Like they have to process it in a proper manner, and the water and everything needs to be filtered before they can like let it out. So they're testing being done from outside, like the, I don't know, like the country or the processes they have for the rules for the environment, and that's being tested that this facility does that correctly, and they're not dumping anything that can be harmful for the nature or plants. So there's so many things to think about. So yeah, it's really right what you say, like we can be so proud of doTERRA for like making this work for everyone and to following all of those rules, even if it's like doesn't make sense and it's different for each country. Yeah, they want to do it right, and then sometimes things take time. I think that's also why there's maybe a backlog of products that are sold out at the moment, of course, because of COVID and delays and different things of that, but also because, you know, they don't take shortcuts. They're not going to release the oil 2 weeks before time just because they need it now. Like it needs to be tested. It needs to take that time, and you know, everything takes its time, and shipping time is longer. So like that's part of the process, and I'm proud that we have a company that don't take shortcuts just to get a profit. You know, that's not how doTERRA rolls. So you can be really happy. I'm gonna jump to the next so we don't have more videos.
One more question about it. I don't know if you want to go first to the slides or I should ask my question.
Yeah, just ask.
They are testing the oils, and then they find, I don't know, something not good for doTERRA, not standard doTERRA oil. What do you know what's going to happen with that oil? Did they explain that to you?
No, they actually said like it's never happened, that they you know, something was not in the standard. Like I said, they would like test it again and maybe they did a mistake. Because doTERRA's oils are so like the sourcing process is already so well, like the farmers know that doTERRA only wants the best quality. In the beginning, they were like sending away, I don't remember, was it 70% of the oil or 90 or something crazy? Like it was not good enough for doTERRA in general. But now it's like so good quality. There might be something like that. I didn't ask that specific question, what they do, but they definitely don't send it or bottle it or anything. It will be, I think they are, making a note like this is something that needs to be inspected and researched. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like they need to check like where's the source, like is that going to happen again, because they can't use that oil. They will never use oil that's not in the standard, but luckily they haven't needed to send anything back or discard or anything like that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure what the answer would be to that. That's something you could ask yourself when you go there.
Well, in the past, they have told me that they are that the oil that doTERRA doesn't approve because there's something with it, that somebody else buys them to put it to use it for other different uses, and a company that doesn't have that big of standards. But of course, I don't know if it still goes that way, but because that was, I don't know, 9 years ago. So that's why I was curious, is it still happening, even if it's a fault of a mistake of somebody made and it's not the quality anymore? What is it happening? Is it thrown away, or is it still used? Because I know the doTERRA is very like when they use just the flower, they look at if they also can use the roots, and if they can use the roots, is another company can use it. You know, it's not waste. They try to use everything and try to be looking at the environment and stuff. So yeah, that's why I was thinking. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think that's part of what they've done, and probably doing now, if that's a thing, like if it's just not within their range or something. I don't think they would pass on something that's contaminated, like something like that, but you know, they would probably ship it back and then it's being sold somewhere else. Yeah, but that's something that, you know, you could ask them. Whoever's going here next could ask them specifically what's the protocol, because that would be interesting. I've also heard what you said before. I think there's like a big difference from 9 years ago, also, like I said, in the quality of what they're getting, because there's the doTERRA standard already in place for so many years. So a lot of the job has been done to ensure that it's just the pure oil. So that's less waste, less product shipped back and forth because it's not good enough, and so on. So it's really, really amazing.
Yeah, and a good improvement.
Yeah,
to develop. So it's a good improvement that most of the oils are a good quality, and the testing is going right. So yeah.
exactly. Okay, so just to show a little bit of fun too from the day. So I don't have pictures of that actually, but we stayed at this hotel for 2 nights. We had dinner together 2 evenings with everyone, and yeah, just spent time together. We had some masterminding and sharing ideas and different things. So that was really fun. We met up with Liz. She was also going there. She's on the picture bottom to the left, and so we drove with her, and she took us to some sacred places, and yeah, we just enjoyed this trip as well. And here's a little doTERRA girl. Had to take a picture with like the big doTERRA posters and everything. So it was fun. Like doTERRA is a very family-oriented company, so usually you could take your kid on these kind of trips. Even though she couldn't go into the facility, there's like an 18-year age limit to the actual facility, but she was here for the rest. So it was nice to be able to bring her along. Lastly,
and you bring your kid with you, you couldn't bring her into the facility. Did you do it? Was that the reason that you go separate from her, that she was watch your child, or did they had a kind of daycare moment?
So actually on this trip, and this is unusual, but maybe because of the age limit, there was no one else bringing their young kids than us. Usually there's a lot more, but probably because they couldn't go to the facility, and so most of the couples just came one of them. but yeah, so we had to like handle it ourselves. So either pair wouldn't be able to go, or someone else would need to take care of Kiara, our daughter. So actually, the solution that came was that Liz, our friend that was in the car with us on the picture, she has a daughter the same age, and she had been there before. Like, she was one of, you know, a few people in Ireland. She lives or lived a few hours away from Cork, so she was invited to come there as like the very first people. They didn't have a long tour as we had, so it was not like that. But she wanted to offer to watch Kiara so that we both could go. So that was really nice of her. So we were able to both go. But the reason me and Per were in different groups, it was that they divided us in small groups, because we couldn't be all, you know, I don't know how many people, like 40, 50 people in each room at one time. So we were split into groups, and we were, you know, happy to explore with each of our groups. So that's why.
Nice. And I think it's cool for people that they can bring their kids with them. I mean, some feel like a kind of a struggle, like, oh, I can't go because I have kids. I can't do this because I have kids. So it's very nice that doTERRA has all these possibilities, that it's okay. Your child's a family, and it needs to be with you. So yeah.
Absolutely. And it's in different kind of trips, like some of the diamond or blue diamond trips, there have been like kids club. You can have your kids in the daytime. So there are, you know, different trips could be options for kids care or something. But yeah, that differs to each kind of trip and the level of trip as well. So yeah, this was the castle, the Blarney Castle, right next to where we stayed. So we went into it and had a little tour inside, and yeah, had a little sightseeing as well, not just the doTERRA tour. Yeah, so that's our trip. I have the legacy trip video here. Do we want to show that as well?
Yeah, why not?
So like, if you're watching this and think like, you know, do I want to go to one of these trips? How can I qualify? Like, that's the website under, or you can just search for legacy trip doTERRA and you'll find that information. And then I'll
your own language, because if I Google in a legacy trip doTERRA, I get it in Dutch. So
yeah,
if you want it in their own language, you can type that and you have your own language.
that is great. So we'll end with this video, and then we'll close after that. Let's see. Well, does it want to play? Okay, there.
Legacy Trip is an opportunity for people to qualify at a rank, and then when they maintain that rank, come and see what doTERRA's legacy is up close.
Legacy Trip is a gift that doTERRA offers to the wellness advocates. We get to see the farmers, we get to see how the plant and where the plant grows. It's just amazing, and I'm sure I'm going to remember forever.
Yay! So those are the two kind of trips. The distillery trip, that's where you saw all the plants going into distillery, and then there's this manufacturing facility trip. So a lot of good things to have a look at and qualify for. And it's going to run, you know, if it's this year or next year, like they're going to keep running it. So you all can get a chance in your own timing to qualify for this trip.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Elin. I was very curious and I wanted to go, and I still do. I want to experience it myself to be there, and yeah, I like the company. I think it's amazing what they do for all the work, and I love it. So yeah, I thank you for your information, and I looking forward to go. So yeah, people, if you like it, please check out what you need to, how to qualify, and if you don't know, just pop a question to us and we will help you, or go to your account manager. But I think it's amazing if we go with people we know, or new people to meet. It's funny because I saw some pictures, I was like, is she Diamond? I sat with her in Italy and we just had a nice talk and I didn't know. So yeah, it's great. That's yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Elin.
Yeah, and maybe someone want to go together and qualify, you know, it's like kind of like, okay, you both going towards your goals, and then maybe you can qualify in the same round and go together. But there will be really amazing people going that are qualifying, so they're all also doing something, you know, helping people and bringing value. So there will definitely be amazing people in each group that goes to this trip.
It's also, what I notice is that those trips are also very inspiring, not only the facility where you go, but also being with each other. It's so much inspired. It's yeah. It's really
Yeah, I think that's what you get most out of is the people and how you show up. It's really cool to see the facility, and it brings you trust in the company and the process and the oils. But the people, like, that's what makes it all alive and makes you feel like, you know, you really get something that you take away, like you have a new idea or a new person that you're connected with. Like I reconnected with Liz, and now we just had a call today, and the whole group kind of goes together and creates something now. So it's really, you know, fun to see what kind of collaborations, connections, or ideas that comes out of it as well. It's huge. And just to feel connected, you know, connected to doTERRA, connected to the people, and to the oils. So it's really, really beautiful. So thank you for inviting me to share, Cindy.
Yes, you're welcome, and thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna
Okay, everybody, bye-bye.
bye.